Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So tonight's question is Jennifer in the right about taking Chad's kids? You know, I can understand where Jennifer's coming from, and I can't fully sit there and say that she's 100% wrong. I mean, listen, regardless of the reasons why and the fact that Thomas is a dumbass, the point of the matter is he ran into traffic because why and the fact that Thomas is a dumbass, he still ran into traffic because Chad lied to his kid about dating somebody who pretended to be his dead mother. So, yeah, I can understand. I can't sit there and say I'm fully against it. Dead mother. So, now, let's sit there and do roll call. Let's get this started. Amy H is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sean is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Allison is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? And yes, Allison is in the chat, even though for some odd reason she doesn't show up. But you just have to click the gear button, and then go to filter chat, and then go to all chat, and it'll come up. I'm doing good, Sean. I had the day off, so I'm actually very happy about that. Not happy about tomorrow, but then I have Saturday off. So that's the good part, though. But it's good to see you, Sean. Of course, Queen, of course. Of course, of course, of course. Now I gotta sit there and say what's up to the lovely Queen. Oh, you work from home? Okay. But yeah, I go back tomorrow early in the morning, but then I'm off Saturday. So that's a saving grace. That is the pure saving effing grace. But this weekend we're gonna have a fun stream this weekend. This weekend on Saturday and Sunday, members are gonna have a very fun stream. So if you're not a member, make sure you become a member. Seriously, make sure you become a member because it's worth it. Why did a kid run into traffic? No, they're not a toddler, but they're like 10 or 9 or something. He ran into traffic because his dad was dating a woman named Kat. And Kat was pretending to be this kid's dead mother. Um she was forced to be she was forced to sit there and pretend to be this kid's dead mother, and technically Chad's dead wife, because a guy named Clyde was holding um her mother hostage and was like, "Hey, listen, if you don't pretend to sit there and be dead Abigail, then I'm going to execute your mother." And when he found out, he was mad and upset. And Chad said, "Listen, I'm going to break it off with her. I didn't get to tell you. I'm sorry." And so Thomas believed it, but then they live in a small town, and her mother got, she got some upsetting news and ran into Chad in the town square, and he hugged her. And Thomas just happened to see that, so he was like, "You lied to me. You said that you broke up with her, and you didn't. You only care about Kat." He got so upset that he literally ran into the street and got hit by a car. I mean, he's still alive. He just, got a little banged up, and they had to sit there and put his shoulder back in place. Um, but it could have been a lot worse, and that's why Jennifer is suing for sole custody. Um, because she feels like, Thomas wouldn't have did that if Chad wasn't being so irresponsible and dating a woman who lied to the whole family. What's good, Susan? It's good to see you again. Thank you for joining tonight. Good to see you again. So Yeah. I mean, I get it. It wasn't without reason, but like, people are sitting there saying like Jack can sit there and date whoever the hell he wants, and Jennifer don't actually have a say so. You know, and Thomas sitting there trying to call the shots, telling his dad who he can and can't sit there and date is ridiculous. It's asinine. Sean says, I find it funny how Emma is trying to expose this professor over the wrong stuff. Yeah, the thing is, she feels responsible, and she is in a lot of ways. Is she still pretending to be the kid's dad mother? No, no. Everything came out, and listen, Chad was really angry with her, but she was forced to do it. So like the story's over. Everybody know what she did, and at this point, everyone knows that she was forced to pretend to be dead Abigail. Some people is willing to forgive her because they understand that she did it under duress. But Jennifer, you know, um, who was Abigail's mother, is having a very hard time forgiving her. And I actually tell you the truth, she didn't forgive her, even though that she knows that she did it under duress. She still won't forgive her, which is that's on her. Um, yeah. So that's pretty much what the story is, that she feels guilty because But I'm like, you're gonna run into each other. Chad is gonna run into Cat. Like their their kids are you know Cat's sister, small sister Felicia is friends with Chad's daughter. So it's not like they're not gonna ever intersect with each other. They live in a small town. They're gonna run into each other from time to time. I'm like, I get that you're upset, but like, you run into the damn streets, like, fuck you doing? Crazy, crazy stuff. I don't, the thing is with General Hospital, like, it's funny too, because like listen, I wrote notes to sit there and talk about some of this stuff, because I'm gonna be honest, Black Mom, what's good, Black Mom? Um, here's the thing. I saw a lot of people upset with Dalton, Professor Dalton, for quote unquote manhandling um Rocco. But I'm like, Rocco, you broke the goddamn law. And people sitting there acting like Dalton beat Rocco's ass. Like, no. He did sit there and hold him and drag him down to you know, down to the campus police. But Laura's like, "Oh, well, you assaulted my grandson." What the hell was he supposed to sit there and do? Hold his hand gently as he strode him down to the cops? Like, what are you talking about? I'm doing good, Black Man. I had the day off, so I and actually tell you the truth, I got a lot of stuff done early. I got done with everything at 4 o'clock. I got done with all the soap operas at 4 o'clock. I thought about taking a nap, but I was like, if I did that, I was like, I don't know if I'm actually gonna sit there and wake up on time for the stream. But people, I'm like, Laura, don't do that. Your grandson broke the law, and you're sitting there telling Boyles and Dalton, oh well, you're not gonna call the cops. You're not gonna arrest my grandson. Talk about abuse of power. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you're literally giving Boyles much more ammunition by the way you're sitting there telling everyone, well, you're not gonna arrest my grand. Yeah, I'm like, yo, he broke the goddamn law. I mean, what's good, me cop? It's good to see you again. Thank you for joining. Also, by the way, hit the like button. Let's see, we got 16 people in the chat. We got 7 likes. So, I haven't said this in a while. Hit the like button because it does actually help. Seriously, it does. Yeah, he broke into the goddamn lab. Like, he's not gonna sit there and be gentle with him. I mean, my whole thing is like, if he hit him, he assaulted him or whatever. Okay, fine. I get people being upset. All he did was grab his arm, grabbed his shoulder, and started walking him down the stairs to the cops. And Laura's like, "Oh my God, you're manhandling my granddaughter." Eh, it wasn't really that great, Mika. It wasn't really that great. Um, don't get me wrong, I've been loving Y&R lately. Like this LA story with Noah and Sienna and Mitch or whatever the hell his name is, it's been great. It's like I can actually well, I couldn't recommend the episode today, but let's get Ronnie Ron. Um, but it's been great in general. Today was not their finest day. It really was not. Um, but I know tomorrow's actually going to be really good though. So I'm very happy about that. That I am very happy about. Eh, is she wrong? Or is she actually sitting there protecting the grandchildren? You know? Thomas got hit. He literally ran, like his reaction towards seeing Chad with Kat made him run into the street and get hit by a car. So emotions can run high when someone feels they stuff are being messed with. Yeah, exactly. And so it was like, hey, listen, we're gonna call the cops. And Laura's not there trying to gaslight him. Oh, well, was there a sign there? Was anything broken there? Was the door like slightly open? I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Because I honestly tell you, Laura, the only thing that you're actually doing is stopping him from understanding the consequences of his actions. Spikequake says, Albert, I'm guessing the package Gwen got is a human. I'm thinking it's either Dimitri or Tony. What's your guess on the package? I have no idea, but it's funny that you say that though. Because she did sit there and say she did she did sit I answered that question last time around. Um she did sit there and say, hello, darling, I'm glad that you're home or welcome home or whatever. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. No, I can't say. I don't even know what the hell the thing is pretty quick. I want to know what they're doing. I want to know what this project is. Just like I want to know what Dalton and Britt are actually working on. What are they working on? Because all we keep sitting hearing is they're working on cold fusion. Oh, something with cold fusion. What the fuck does that mean? Actually, yeah, and but that's my whole thing though. With Rocco, I'm like actions have consequences, like Lulu said. Like, and it's also making you also put Laura and Dante in a really terrible position. Well, I'm not gonna do that, Ron, but I will highlight your comment so other people can see it. Um, there you go. Well, yeah, exactly, Allison. And I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I know this sounds bad, but I didn't care that Thomas got hit by a car. Thomas took a pumpkin and launched it at Cat. Okay, a heavy ass pumpkin that could have hurt her. That could have seriously hurt her. So, in all reality, him getting hit by a car is karma. As far as I'm concerned, that shit is karma. won't be on this earth anymore. You know what? Listen, are you enjoying Beyond the Gates? Uh, Not really. I don't hate it. There are certain parts that I think is interesting. I would listen. I'll tell you this much, me cop though. Beyond the Gates is probably like out of all five of the soap operas, Beyond the Gates is the worst one. I don't, Allison. I really don't. He sat there. He threw a goddamn heavy ass pumpkin to try to get back at Cat, and it wound up hitting somebody else by accident. Like, yeah, I just don't care that much. That's the thing. I just don't care. Like, I don't know. It's you know what it is, Mikaba. It's fun. It's fun to talk about Beyond the Gates, right? It's fun to talk about. But as far as like watching it, eh, mm. Is that because you're not liking the whole Jennifer and Julie acting like a bunch of Karens? Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing, Ron. Dating when you're a single parent and the kid's not liking who you're dating, that's always problematic. And you have to put your kids first. Um, because yeah, you could sit there and be like, my kids ain't sitting there dictating who the hell I date. But your kid's well-being has to come first. Now, Jennifer and Julie, they don't get to sit there and dictate who the hell he sees. Okay. All right. I don't know. I mean, that's your opinion, Spider. But I don't know. Like I said, Beyond the Gates is the worst show. Um, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, as Beyond the Gates is still the worst. Doesn't the kid have a mom? No, they don't. Their mother got killed. Abigail got killed. That was Thomas and Charlotte's mother, and she got killed like a couple of years ago. So 1 second, Ron. Um, so yeah, their mother is no longer in this world. Allison. Ron says, "What's your take on Jeremy Horton character? I'm willing to give him a chance." Um, I'm interested so far. I want to, I'm interested. It's early. It's too early to sit there and say if I really like him or not like him. But I'm interested to see where it goes. Spikequick says Albert and boring unless Trina's back tomorrow. Sadly, she's going to get me mad. Talking to Jordan like she owns her. Like go back to being an off-screen character. You ain't need a Trina. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go hard. If I remember, I'm gonna go hard on Trina because I'm like, Trina, you need to sit there and mind your goddamn business. Stay out of grown folks' business. Like don't do that. Don't do that. Trina, you're being fucking annoying. Like you really are. You're being goddamn annoying. Mind your goddamn business. Mikhail says, I remember about how excited you were when you found out predominantly black soap was premiering. I was happy. I was. You're absolutely right, Mikhail. I was happy. And then the show came on, and I'm gonna be honest. That first week was probably bad, but I want to give it a chance. There's things that I am not really feeling on Beyond the Gates. That's the thing, Mika. I'm not really fully feeling. Like I said, and I've said this like a couple of times. Most of the actors on there can't act. Um, there are characters that just are annoying, like Leslie. Every time that Leslie's on screen, she is just annoying. Um, some of the stories are so-so, you know? Some of the stories are so-so. What's good, Jonathan? Some of the stories are so-so. Vanessa is annoying. I feel like there just are some annoying characters too, like even Danny. Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing, Mikhail. Even Danny sometimes can be a little over the top, and Leslie is just over the top and cartoonish. Um, Chelsea, Chelsea's another one. First of all, I just don't even like Chelsea's character, and also, um, the chick can't act. She can't act. Jonathan, you thought that Days of Our Lives was pretty interesting. What was interesting about it today? I'm not being okay. I'm being a little sarcastic, but like, what did you actually find that was interesting today? Because I had the damn near exact reaction. Sammy leaving, I'm just like, I didn't care. I didn't care when Sammy came in. I was like, I didn't care. Sammy coming in was just, I just didn't care. Lonnie and Eli coming in, I really didn't care. Um, you forgot to mention Sammy's engagement. Hmm, no. Well, I mean, I said I didn't really care about Sammy or her engagement, to be honest. Well, some of the interactions were decent, especially seeing Sammy and Belle going at it again. Mm. Just don't know. I don't know. I feel like most of them did Nick and Sharon get married. No, Nick and Sharon did not get married. Noah's being kind of a dick. You know, Noah's being kind of a dick. If we're gonna be honest, if we're gonna be real, I'm like, girl, I'm like, bro, you sitting there sleeping with this man's wife. That better not be sparkling water. That is definitely not sparkling water. I don't do sparkling water. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about. Goddamn right, that's alcohol, Sean. Sparkling water. Um, I'm like, bro, you wonder, it's like, seriously, you wondering why you got into a car accident and you sitting there sleeping and effing with somebody's wife. Seriously. Jonathan, I don't know. I don't know if it's Sonny should trust Rick. I'm more surprised. Um, sparkling water. Oh, Allison, I swear, Spider Quick is trying to be a comedian. Um, I'm surprised that like that came out of left field. That came out of left field. Rick is like, "Oh, I want to be your lawyer, Sonny." I'm like, "Why? Why? I can help you get back to Piers. Okay, that's cool, but like, why?" That's what I'm saying, Spider. It came out of left field. It literally came out of nowhere. Um, listen. I love Days. Today, Days did not hit for me. Days did not hit for me. I even understand what EJ was sitting there talking about Rachel. Oh well, you gotta just let Thomas just be a Horton. He's not like us, the Maras. So you just gotta let him just be a Horton. I'm like, the fuck? What does that even mean? Yeah, just didn't hit. Just did not. Yeah, just to not hit. Just not hit. Spider, was you here yesterday? Was you here yesterday? I don't know who. I Ron, I have no idea. I barely have enough time to sit there and do my own content, so I have no idea what's going on with Phoenix. So quick says, "What do you think is wrong with Marlena?" It's weird because it's like I feel like it could be psychological. I feel like it could be psychological. Um, hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jonathan. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was the worst. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was the worst soap opera. It just didn't really do much for me, right? Like, Lucas coming back, I didn't really give a shit. Did she did she get fired again? Yeah, I remember that, Jonathan. I was I wasn't smashed. I remember our talk yesterday. Oh, I showed a funny clip. That's all, Spider. I want to sit there and see who remembered it. So I don't know if you were here for it. Is she possessed again? Are Sammy and Lucas engaged? No, Sammy and Lucas are not engaged. Sammy is married to some guy named Dante um Vitale. Um Apparently she was seeing him off screen. So but Sammy did sit there and forgave Lucas for Lucas kidnapping Sammy. Also he could sit there and play hero. Also he could sit there and play hero. Do you think something will happen to Professor Dawn? You know, it's funny. Spiderquake sat there and said something very similar. Spiderquake was like, because Dalton's defied um Sitwell's orders to stand down. Spiderquake was like, Dalton may actually have his last day on Earth, but I don't think he will because he is running that project, and that project does not seem like it's done. I don't know if Britain knows enough about the project to sit there and complete or be able to replace Dalton. So right now, he's still valuable. He still has value. Still has value. Um, he's working for Brit. Yeah, he's working for Brit, but like all he's doing is manage all she's doing is managing him. Like I don't think that she's actually like he's still doing the actual work. I don't think that she knows how to do the work that Dalton's doing. Otherwise, why have Dalton in the first place? Britt is only there to sit there and incentivize Dalton to sit there and move his ass because dude apparently is just dragging his ass. Like, so um that's all that she's doing. Britt is not the villain here. No. Hmm. All right. I think it's time to switch to the laptop. But like I said, I think if I don't know. I just like I said, Spider. I feel like you know, um, they still need Dalton. I feel like they still need Dalton. I could be wrong, but I feel like if that was the case, then he could just I don't think she's a science. I don't think she's. I don't think that's her area. Her expertise. Her expertise or whatever. Expert whatever. But I have other notes. We didn't talk about. Well, wasn't really much. And that was another thing, though, right? Like, whoops, wrong one. But yeah, Trina is definitely going to get on my goddamn nerves tomorrow. Like that much is for certain. She is definitely going to get on my nerves. Oh, Spider Quake, remember the crazy days when you know people sat there and they talked about Trina. It was like World War V, and people would lose their goddamn minds. That was annoying. Let's make sure that the audio is good. Let me know, chat. Let's make sure that the audio is good. Ooh, okay, it is. I got that's what my voice sounds like. I might have actually, thank you, Sean. I might have actually took that clip away. Those days die with Spencer died. Not really. Not really, Spider. You remember those days. Oh, okay, it's still there. Cool. Um, yeah, girl, sit your ass down somewhere. But but Trina, I thought Tiger was your father. You're forever dad. Okay, come on, Jonathan. All right. That was her. That was her forever dad. You just sitting there lost somewhere, drinking on her goddamn bridge. Okay, you know what? And well, that's not exactly what I mean, Spider. I mean by like, you talk about Trina in any negative way, and it would be um, like a capital offense to some people, you know, and not just one that you know what I'm talking about, but like just other people in general. Anyway, beyond the gates. Okay, Naomi is starting to piss me off. Holy shit, this woman is just getting worse and worse by each and every passing episode. Like, at least Ashley is kind of realizing that like Derek wasn't the only one that did lie, and that she lied as well about her commitment to that's true, Spider. That she wasn't some people take souls too seriously. They do. And the sad thing is, Allison, is that there was a time period I was stupid enough to sit there and placate to that level of BS. I ain't doing that shit anymore, but yeah, she started to sit there and kind of realize that, listen, I wasn't honest about fully wanting to marry him. Yeah, I wasn't fully ready to sit there and marry him because she really didn't get over her feelings for Andre, which is why she kept sitting there putting it off. And Naomi was like, "Come on, why are you sitting there being so easy on him?" I was like, "Girl, how about you sit there and deal with your own relationship?" And you know what? What really annoys me is that I feel like Jacob is a little too nice to Naomi. Jacob, I don't know if he actually has the balls to sit there and put that chick in her place. There's been too many times when she has sat there and talked to him in a very foul way where it's like, girl, if you do not calm your ass down. And I feel like he's too nice, he's too good natured to really sit there and put that chick in her place. And yeah, you are right, Spider. She is not there. Like when she came at Jacob sideways, um, and I mean when she came at Derek sideways, and Jacob was like, you're upset with me, and you sit there taking out on Derek. Plus, there's a point where they're moving his stuff out, and actually sitting there talking about a particular chair. This chick is sitting there talking about, oh well, let's sit there and burn it or throw it out. I'm like, girl, you done lost your goddamn mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. Derek is a scumbag. Derek is a desperate, pathetic scumbag who tried to use his status as being in a wheelchair to keep her. And I'm like, bro, you got a hot ass girl that's sitting there hooking up with you, ready to sit there and go, and you talking about, no, I can't do it because I gotta be with Ashley. I'm like, bro, I was like, first of all, you turned down that hot chick for fucking Ashley, bro. I mean, listen, I get it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? There'll be a lot of people that I would sit there and think is super attractive that other people wouldn't. So I'm like, maybe I should sit there and go so hard, but I'm like, bro, like, what do you? It's like dumb shit like that. Where I'm just like, what do you see in Ashley at this point? Yeah, you lied to her, and that was a scumbag thing to do. But like, you had to sit there and corner her with y'all shared friends, to get an answer from her. About setting a date, and she's the one that asked you for marriage, your hand in marriage. So I don't understand. What is it that you like? Oh, cool. Um, so I just, gorgeous Queen Janet. What are you thinking of Bold and the Beautiful so far? Bold and Beautiful, Bold and Beautiful definitely annoyed me. It First of all, people listening to this saying this Luna story is the best story that they have on the show, and I'm just like, when did a story about a sexual predator or a fucking rapist become the best thing on the Bold and the Beautiful? Like, I don't understand that. Like, how did people's standards get so goddamn low where they're thinking that that's the best stuff that's going on? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Not to mention that all Luna did for 2 days in a row was sit there and whine and cry about not being with Will. And I cannot believe that that security guard decided to go to her phone, like use her phone to sit there and show someone who is clearly a stalker information on her phone. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm like, part of me, I was like, your ass deserves to be fired. Your ass deserves to be fired. I don't know if everyone saw this clip, so I'll probably sit there and show it now, and then I'll just erase it. And some more people coming later on, I may show it again. But since y'all in here,
This is not your fight, JR. Kendall is my friend. You are not my enemy, so why don't you just walk away and let this go?
Or you could take on women, but you don't have the guts to stand up to me.
It's not worth it, JR.
You messed with Greenlee and Kendall's head. Pine Valley doesn't need another liar.
Put that down, JR. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna kill me? You'll regret it the rest of your life.
You trashed Greenlee's life. Do you regret that?
More than you will ever know, JR, but that is between me and Greenlee.
And Kendall.
Kendall has got nothing to do with any of this.
oh, oh, oh my lord. That clip never gets old. Janet said, "Gage is my favorite currently. I bet something will be wrong with Anita since they made a big deal at the hospital." You know, the whole scene with Vernon and Sharon. Um, well, I mean, let's be honest, Sean. Dude picked up the stick, and Ryan decided to turn his back. Like he knew he had that big ass branch. Listen, if somebody is sitting there threatening me with a branch, I'm not gonna be like, man, F you, bro, and then turn my back and then not expect to sit there and get hit. Like, um, now if he was just walking and he didn't see it coming, that's a little different. But see, I wish it was something more nefarious. Like I wish Vernon was sneaking around with Sharon and they were actually doing something. Like we know that they're not doing anything, right? And Vernon coming home with somebody else's perfume is going to try to make it seem like they're going to try to sit there instead of this whole, oh, Vernon is like she's going to sit there and think that Vernon is there stepping out on her with Sharon. And in reality, they're probably just planning something. But I wish that was the case because yeah, it would be more soapy, it'll be more drama, and it would also give Vernon something to do besides propping up Anita. Because I'm gonna be honest, it, his character is so goddamn boring. His character's so damn boring. Both both him and her are just boring. They're so goddamn boring. You just don't care. And see, the thing with Kat is that Kat could be very over the top. Kat will never bore me. Kat will annoy me from time to time. She'll definitely sit there and do too damn much. But she's never boring. She's never boring. Chelsea I don't give two shits about. Chelsea Chelsea's the type of person that sit there and talk about I'm an influencer this and I gotta feed the algorithm that, and I'm just like, it's like, I do YouTube, right? So I get I cannot stand this word influence, but like I get that life. But like, I feel like whenever she talks about it, she just kind of reminds people just like, ah, stupid influencers and like it just like she comes across as somebody where it's like when you think of influencer, you think of her and you don't take her seriously. Like you really do not sit there and take her seriously. You just don't. She just comes across as very flaky. And like I don't know. Martin is still being a dick. Samantha did go too far with her whole "I hate you, Martin." Like I felt like that was a little OD. I'm glad they did that patch stuff up. I'm like, Martin, you doing too damn much. And it came at Cat incredibly nasty. Like I feel like even the people that don't like Cat had to sit there and look at that and be like, all right, that's a little bit too much. You know, because they were sitting there talking about intercourse and stuff. Oh, my young and impressionable daughter. First of all, let's be honest. Let's not sit there and try to act like she don't have the internet and she's never heard of intercourse or have friends that just sit there and talk about intercourse. So I'm like, bro, you doing too damn much. And the fact that she's apologizing was like, yo, listen, they're having to talk. Like, she didn't think she was going to hear it. We have TV. Like it's just, it was so over the goddamn top. It was so over the top that it was just really dumb. And um, I'm just like, I feel like he was just doing too damn much. Jonathan, I don't know if you're in the chat or on my days people in the chat. Um, Sammy did sit there and try to put in a good word with Johnny. And, she knows nothing that you're trying to hear it. But I'm like, I get that y'all two are married and everything like that, and I get what he wound up doing to Chanel. But somewhere along the line, I'm like, Chanel, if Johnny wants to sit there and work things out with his dad, do not stand in that man's way. Do not stand in his way. Do not sit there and tell, well, you shouldn't do it because no. Don't do that. Don't be that person under the jest of, oh, I'm just sitting there trying to protect you. No, you may not never sit down like EJ, and that's totally fine. But don't sit there and try to get in their way. Now, today, Mikab asked me was Days of Our Lives. I mean, The Young and the Restless good. It wasn't good, but this, like I said, this story, this LA story, has been pretty good. Like it really has. Like, why is YouTube just recommending me all these shorts? I mean, like, oh, also, why is your comment not up? Oh, weird. It's like your comment doesn't come up, but like I can see it though. I don't know what is going on with YouTube. Um, that's not what I want. But oh yeah, that's what I was gonna sit there and say. I don't know if some people know this guy. His name is Alan Locker. He wound up doing a an interview with um, the people that played Steve and Kayla. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I feel like there's like two super strong um soap opera, well, three, but like as far as like interviewing people and stuff like that and do like live streams or whatever, is Michael Fairman and Alan Locker. I feel like both of those two people are like really um are like really what is going on with this live stream? Can people hear me by the way? Cause like I only see Janice's last comment and then I don't even sit there and see it in the chat. So I'm like, what is going on with this live stream? Besides, I want to sit there and make sure people are still here, even though I see like 19 people. So I want to see if anybody else can sit there and make a comment. Like, what is going on in this comment section? I can, but it's moving slow on my end. Let's see. And it's so annoying too, because like I literally have to sit there and go to all the. Okay, all right, I can see. I can see. I just want to make sure people are still in the comment section because I'm like, what the hell? Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I felt like none of the soaps really brung it that much. I feel like just looking at all five of them, each one by default. I don't know what B&B was doing today. Beyond the Gates is on their usual whatever. Um, Beyond the Gates wasn't terrible, so I will give them that. Beyond the Gates is actually better than B&B, and that's actually pretty sad. And GH was pretty much about Rocco. You know, you had Alexis, Jason, and Danny, so that they talking about Rocco's situation. You had Sonny, Emma, and Gio, so that they're talking about Rocco's situation. And then at the police station, you had the whole Rocco situation. I almost felt like I didn't even need any notes when I sat there and I talked about it because it was like it was majority about it was the Rocco situation. Um, and like I said yesterday, for the people that wasn't here, Drew is just going to fuck up Willow's case. Like, you know, listen, I get how people feel about Nancy, and I get that some people may not necessarily like Alexis, but when it comes towards her lawyering skills, she is damn near the best. And so to sit there and have Drew be like, no, you're going to sit there and make an argument and you're gonna make it all about Michael. You know, you gotta sit there and railroad Michael into it. And Alexis is like, okay, what do you want? What is more important? Which one do you want? Do you want Willow to be free or do you want Michael to pay? And his ass is like, why can't it not be both? I'm like, because she's not a fucking miracle worker, you know? And like your interference can wind up tanking her whole damn case. And the fact that listen, Willow is better off um leaning on Nina at this point than Drew. Willow is much better leaning on Nina than Drew. And you would sit there and think that she would have learned her lesson after the first time of blaming Drew for getting her kids taken away, and you're doing this shit all over again. You're doing this shit all over again. I don't get it. I don't get how Willow can sit there and be this dumb. And granted, I don't think that that alibi is gonna hold up with Jacinda. But like Curtis said, just because he doesn't have an alibi for a certain time period doesn't mean that he's guilty. Alistair says Drew is going to ruin everything. Drew is a self-obsessed narcissist. Yeah, yeah, it's bad. Like it's really bad, and he is just making this shit so much worse. Um, we talked yesterday about apparently there is a bunch of people there's a bunch of people that's signing a petition to get the Drew character off the show. And I'm like, okay, then what kind of villain are you gonna sit there and have? Like it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Uh, It's not that I mean, you. This is why I feel like sometimes soap opera fans are so goddamn fickle. They want a villain. They want things to be interesting. They don't want things to be slow. You get a villain that people don't like, but now it's like, oh my god, he's too mean. He's too this. He's too that. I want him off the air. I'm like, okay, so what do you want instead? What kind of villain do you want? Do you want the villain to be somewhat nice? You want him to be somewhat fair? Like, because I mean, people sit there and say, "Oh, well, they used to have great villains." Yeah, you used to have great villains like Elena and Jerry Jacks and some other people from time to time. But I'm like, that was back in the early 2000s. So it's like, what kind of villain do you actually want if you don't want a villain like Drew? Like the fact that you hate him, you can't stand him, that means that he's the villain for the damn show. You don't want a villain that you like. You want a villain that you dislike and you can't stand and whatever. When do we start having to sit there and start liking our villains? That's why they're fucking villains. Like, you know. But then you look at Sitwell. Look at Sitwell, right? What has Sitwell done lately? Like not when he first came in and he kidnapped Lucky and Anna, Jason. He was doing all sorts of villain shit, right? The last villain thing that he wound up doing was kidnapping Sasha. That was it. That was literally it. He hasn't really done anything villainous since. So like when people sit there and say that he's probably a disappointing villain, he's a disappointing villain, but you don't want it. Then you don't want Drew to be a villain. Like what do you want? I don't know. Like I said, I feel like sometimes people just be very fickle with what they want, and it's just yes, he killed. Oh, you're right. He did kill the judge. You're right. I totally forgot about that. And every now and then I have to sit there and remind myself that Jordan is actually undercover. Just in case people forgot, Jordan's undercover. She's been undercover for a while. It's the whole reason why they broke up Jordan and Isaiah. So Isaiah could sit there and be pretty much, sexing his boss. And well, I don't want to sit there and say breaking up a happy home, but like, you know, also sleeping with a married woman.
And the sad thing is that I feel like all of them, all four of them, are kind of trashy ass people, and we're gonna see a little bit of that tomorrow. And like I said, I'm gonna wind up probably giving. I'm gonna wind up giving Trina a bit of smoke because she gonna annoy me. I know she gonna annoy me. I feel like something's going on YouTube. Maybe people just like they're just listening in. I have no idea. But let's see. We got 22 people in the chat. We got 12 likes. So yeah, hit the like button. I haven't actually said that in a while. I just like to see a villain motivation. Yeah, I like to see a villain be a damn villain. Like, you got a damn villain. Do villainous shit. Do villainous shit. It was weird. You'll have some people that will sit there and upload certain parts from General Hospital, and their channels can be up for years. I have to sit there and worry about showing a clip on YouTube without it being flagged or whatever. Like Sean says, Cameron is killing it though. Cameron is killing it. Cameron has years of experience being on soap opera. So like I feel like he's always going to sit there and bring his A game. He's always going to sit there and bring his A game. He's always coming. That's why when somebody was sitting there saying that they were signing a petition to sit there and have the Drew character leave the show, I'm like, why? Why? Why do you need the characters that can leave the show? What do y'all want sometimes? Sometimes I'm just like, I love Jerry Jacks. Jerry Jacks, Sebastian is a great actor. I mean, he's really great when he's playing the villain, but like, I just think that people need to stop being so goddamn fickle, Sean. It's like, the whole reason why they're villains that you're supposed to not like them. You're supposed to not like them. You're supposed to hate them and be upset with them. That's what they're there for. They're not there to sit there and be all cuddly and cute and whatever. They're supposed to sit there and be a villain. Like what are we doing? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. So I don't know. I want him to be a villain. He's a villain. It is what it is. But like Jonathan said to me, you can't please everyone. You just simply can't. That's fine. That is that is fine. Let's see. We did days. Days, like I said, days didn't really give me shit. Days didn't give me shit. Beyond the Gates. I don't know how many people in here actually still watch Beyond the Gates, but I think I kind of talked to most of the people that talked about Beyond the Gates. And I would sit there and say this. I don't think there's any YNR fans except for one person. And I don't see any B&B fans except for Janet, which I think she kind of just, chilling in the background. Like I said, I do think that the veterans, I said that yesterday, and I'll sit there and keep saying that. I think that the veterans, like Laura needs to go. Laura should have left. Laura should have left when Luke left. Laura's best stuff, her best stuff was probably in the 80s, going into the 90s. That was her best stuff. And listen, I'm not just saying that I think the veterans need to leave because they're older people. I wouldn't mind Cynthia having them bring in another character if they were older. So this isn't about age. This is just literally about the fact that they need some new blood in the show. They need some new characters. They seriously need some new characters. Like I don't need to sit there and see Sunny seduce woman number 474. Like it's just getting ridiculous at this point. Sunny's best stuff was in the 90s. Jason's best stuff was in the 90s. They just need to sit there and just like bring in some other characters because this is just what I'm saying, like it's just ridiculous. I think their time in the sun has been going on for far too long, personally, and that's across the board. That's all of them. That's you know. Listen, if they want to sit there and give the veterans the Days of Our Lives treatment when they come in once a year and pop in and show their faces and whatever, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that because the people that have been watching it for a while is going to get that treat. So I'm fine with that. Just like on Days of Our Lives, Sammy doesn't work for me because I wasn't around to sit there and watch the show in the early '90s and the late '80s when Sammy's story was fire back then. When Nicole's story was fire back then. But if they came on the show, all right, that's cool. But the whole Young and the Restless, no, I don't. I don't want Sunny. I don't. No, I don't want more Sunny love interest. Yeah, it's just listen, Sunny. Allison. The member streams or whatever. We watch a lot of classic soaps, so we looked at a lot of Sunny's older stuff. Like his late '80s, like his adventures with Brenda. When the show actually had a budget and he went to Puerto Rico and like the whole um boat chase and stuff like that, like when the show was actually at its peak and Sonny's character and story was at its peak. That was a long time ago. Yeah, it's Allison, like I said, the fact that Jason the fact that Jason co-signed a loan to get Brit in a nice and expensive ass car, and she was treating him like shit yesterday. I was like, yo, this is well, like I said before, I think it's kind of low key sexism in these soap operas. Very low key sexism. Now you look at B&B, and they don't sit there and say like Luna raped um Will. They just keep something saying, oh, she took advantage of him. They try to make Will look like, Will is constantly apologizing to Electra for being a victim. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're seeing fantasy scenes from Luna's perspective on what she wants her and Will's relationship to be like. I'm like, they wouldn't do that if it was a man. Luke, they wouldn't show a fantasy scene a little bit after of Luke Smith there wanting to be with Laura after Luke raped Laura. They wouldn't do that with EJ. Like this is idiotic. Sean says if that is the way they are slowly building to Jason and Britt is shitty way of doing it. Yeah, it's a very irritating. It's a very irritating way that they're going about it. Like they want to make Brit come across as spunky, and the problem with that is that I don't think they understand what spunky is. Like there is a difference between being spunky and being bitchy. And we're way past the spunky level with Brit. And the fact that we gotta sit there and see Jason just take it and accept it. No man in their right mind is gonna sit there and put up with somebody who is constantly sitting there acting like that. And trying to look out for them and always be there for them, um co-signing expensive loans and you know Jason took Britt out of that situation where he felt like she might have overstepped and could have possibly lost her job. And his reward is sitting in a diner and getting chewed out for essentially being a decent person to her. Alistair says Soap likes bitchy women and weak men, at least when it comes to relationships. Yes, because it's like I said, they're like it's hot to be nasty. I mean, don't get me wrong, for a man, and I can only speak for men, there's a certain level of fireness that in the right circumstances can turn on a man. But Brit does it in a way where it's not attractive. It's just annoying. It's just a headache. Like you're not being fiery where it's like you know the sex is gonna be wild. Spike Quick says, I love Lulu, but she got me furious yesterday, giving Brit zero credit. Geo all the credit. He was doing CPR right. All he did was check Ned's pulse. Brit did CPR correctly. Here's the thing, she didn't just do CPR correctly. Let me tell you what Brit did. Brit came in like a goddamn superhero. Brit did not sit there and think, you know, yes, Sean, you have a great night, and I will sit there and see you tomorrow. Brit did not sit there and think about the consequences of what could have went wrong and if she was going to be blamed for it. Brit can sit there and be rude and nasty and bitchy to people, but Brit is a great doctor and a good person at heart. Queen Jess, how have you been? I was wondering what was going on in my damn chat. I was like, where the hell is everybody? There's like 23 people in the chat. If Spider didn't sit there and say anything in a few minutes, I was about to sit there and just turn this off. Like, okay, I guess people are just, um, maybe I'll play that. Maybe I'll play that clip before I go out tonight. But he came in like a goddamn superhero, right? And yeah, it was shitty that Lulu did not bother to sit there and give her any credit. I'm like, you hella out of pocket. You're out of pocket. But listen, that's what you expect from Lulu. I've come to expect that level of just. Well, there are some people in the other live stream who are not friends with their. I was gone because I was eating Popeyes. I haven't had Popeyes in so long. I haven't had Popeyes in so long. Who's been looking like a pilgrim all week? I'm tired of looking at her. And that's the thing. And that's Allison, and on some level, I can respect that. You don't have to sit there and like somebody and be friends with somebody and trust somebody, right? I get that. But I'm like, for the sake of rock, I mean, to be fair, when it came towards Rocco, Britt has been out of pocket. Britt has been out of pocket. Um, so Lula, listen, Lula had to sit there and tell Rocco like, yo, listen, you fucked up today. Actions have consequences. You messed up today, and you put Dante and Laura in a very bad position, right? You put those two in a very bad position. So I don't, like I said, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for Rocco. Okay, I don't. I don't feel bad for Rocco. Emma realized how much she fucked up today. I'm like, Emma, you put kids in this situation. Like, of course it was gonna go fucking wrong. And like I said, Laura, listen, all you did by spazzing out today was give more ammunition um towards Boyles. Just as Rocco definitely needed to learn for going along with that idiotic plan, and Laura was about to let him off, of course. Exactly. I'm like, you doing that shit right in front of your opponent. Like, Laura let Martin go to, like, she's so trash. Yes. I know a certain person that's not here today wouldn't agree, but what's your thoughts on Sharon and Vernon thing? I would want them to hook up. I wish it was Vernon hooking up with Sharon, because that would be soapy. And it would actually give Vernon something to do, and it would make him interested. But that's not the case. It's going to be something to do as far as surprising Anita, because for the life of me, they cannot sit there and make Vernon do anything other than prop up what you call it. Just as I would have him spend a night in jail. Actions have fucking consequences. Exactly. Exactly. Shit. Yeah. It's definitely gonna be something boring. Because like for somebody, like for the life of them, Ellison said, "Yeah, Lulu made him feel guilty, but she was right. You're responsible." Like I said, if a parent is disappointed with you, it hurts a whole lot more than when they're mad at you. Um, Now, just says like Danny Audrey said, "What the f?" I mean, the f. She did all that for them to not go. So dumb. And the sad thing is, just she said it under the gist of, I knew that you didn't want to go, Andre. You only did that to sit there and appease me, and I'm not going to sit there and have you do something. Well, that's the thing, though, Jess. I think it would just. Here's the thing. I felt like the photo shoot actually didn't happen because I think it just would have been too much for them. Like the crossover. I don't think that they were able to really pull off that crossover. They just want to tease us with the idea of it. They just want to tease us with the idea of it. I don't think that they were going to actually be able to pull off the crossover. Um, that's why they, what I'm saying, like that's why they stuck to the whole phone conversation, because I think that the studios, like where Beyond the Gate shoots at and Bold and the Beautiful shoot at. Like, honestly, tell you the truth, here's the thing, just I wanted to be more crossovers. I wanted to be more crossovers with B&B and the Young and Restless. They only had one true crossover when they had a character from the Young and the Restless named Devon, come, come on the show and had an actual physical interaction with Anita and Vernon. And it was disappointing because it was only for like one episode. So I'm like, if you're gonna do it, then fucking do it. Like it's cool that they got the shows and gonna be able to do a crossover, but like, if you're not gonna be able to actually do it, and trust me, Beyond the Gates needs all the help that they can actually get. And like I said, Martin's trash. I said this before. Martin is trash. Samantha kind of went a little bit too far with the whole "I hate you." Like that might have been that might have been definitely over the top. I'm gonna be keep it real, but um, and I'm not even a huge fan of Cat. But I'm like, Martin, you doing too much. Like you sitting there acting like Cat's not there talking about sex. Like you sitting there acting like Samantha doesn't know like she doesn't hang out with friends. Don't sit there and talk about that type of stuff. That she doesn't sit there and hear anything about that on the internet. Like now, Allison said, "Wonder if GH will have Thanksgiving this year." Yeah, we in December. we in December. They'll do something for Christmas, but what's good? What's good, Amber? That shit flew. That shit already came and flew when the whole Ronnie Barnes thing. What I'm saying is, Eva laid in the cat. She got verbally abused big time. The thing is, Eva was right. I didn't like the fact that Eva walked up in Cat's place though. I didn't like that shit at all. Cat's like, "What are you doing? Like, who are you just to sit there and walk in?" And Eva was like, "Well, you left the door open." So fucking what? It doesn't give you the right to sit there and just walk on in. And all Chelsea said was, "Oh, well, we should just sit there and let those two talk it out." Um, Eva just walks up in your place and they start going back and forth. And the only thing you sit there and say is, "Oh, we're just going to sit there and let you two just work it out." Okay. Cat's not there having, Cat's not there having this giant attitude because Eva called Ted dad was just stupid. But, and it was over the top and it showed just how self centered she was. But, you know, we're going to be honest, you look at the Cat situation, you're like, Eva came in and, Eva sat there and started trying to take stuff from Cat in a sense. Just as I'm tired of Eva trying to police her mom, like, give it up already. Yeah, that was annoying too. That was annoying too. So that they're telling Jane or whatever, "Oh, you need to sit there and stop trying to rile mama up and, giving her expectations too high." I was like, stop. And Eva was doing the same shit as her mom, going after a man who didn't want her to sit. Oh, Jess, and honestly, tell you the truth, you're not gonna like Trina tomorrow because she gonna get on people's goddamn nerves. Spike Craig said that's how it gotta be though. You can't always break up fights. You just gotta hash it out. I mean, I get that, but I'm like, don't just walk up to my goddamn place. Like, even here's the thing, even though that evil was right, don't walk up to my place like that. Don't walk into my place like that. Don't do that shit. Cause your ass is gonna sit there and get shot or an ass whooping or both. Um, yeah, she was doing too much. And like, my whole thing is like, you haven't put you. Leslie's not the type of person that's going to sit there and be policed by anybody. So I'm like, girl, you're just wasting your breath and you're just being annoying. Like Naomi's being annoying too. And I said that I said that before Jess got here. I was like, now you being annoying. You sit there, keep trying to egg on Ashley when Ashley is taking some responsibility and realizing that like she's not exactly the victim. You know that she could have sat there and been more honest about she had residual feelings about Andre, and that's another reason why she didn't want to sit there and set a date for her marriage. And all Naomi's sitting there doing, but girl, you know, he lied to you. Why are you sitting there being so easy on him? I'm like, like, yeah, Jacob is too goddamn nice to you. I feel like that's maybe why Naomi married Jacob. Because I feel like Jacob is actually a pushover. I really do. I feel that Jacob is a pushover. Naomi been annoying since the June storyline. I don't like her ass. Yeah, she was definitely over the top. She was definitely over the top. Um, but see, the thing is though, like she was. Here's the thing all the men on the show are low key pushovers. Facts. But see, with the whole June thing, yeah, she was over the top, but she wasn't like. At least in that situation, you knew her heart was in the right place with June. Like, yeah, you were being kind of extra because I didn't give a shit about June. Like, your heart was in the right place. With Jacob and the whole I don't want to have a baby and whatever, fine, cool. But you giving him attitude talking about, well, I don't have a problem, you do, so maybe you're the one that needs to go to therapy. I'm like, excuse me? And Vanessa, of course, you know, loving playing gangster and everything like that. I'm like, girl, you doing too much. I mean, listen, I found Vanessa trash for a hot minute. Um, I do think overall that Danny's going to be the one um, that's going to save Bill. That's going to sit there and figure out that, you know, what is her goddamn name? What is her name? Not Cat. What is her name? She's actually pretty good looking too. I totally forgot her goddamn name. Well, homegirl is not there poisoning Bill. Oh shit, what is her name? Haley. Holy fuck! I don't know why I forgot her. I don't know why I forgot her name, Haley. But I feel like it's gonna be Danny that's gonna sit there and cover it up. I do feel that low key people do want Danny to be back with Bill, and I'm kind of just like, why? Why? Why do you want him to sit? Why do you want her to sit there and be back with a man who treated her like shit? Who literally sat there and like mentally broke her in a sense. What happens to Haley after that? I don't know if she has a long shelf life. I don't know if she has a long shelf life. Like if they and I'm just expecting high hopes from them, if they actually give Isaiah an interesting storyline, you probably don't really need Haley. You know, since we found out that Haley was only there to sit there and try to get Bill's money and take his ass out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else she can actually do. Like once you get found out, it's like what else could she actually do? Right? Because what could they even do with her? I don't even see a place for her after the reveal. Yeah, I don't either. Um, her and probably what you call it, Randy. Since since what's that goddamn loser's name, Doug? Since Doug isn't on the show, he's not alive. Like it really is not that much of a reason. Johnson says Roger Howard isn't on contract on 1 hour, so who knows how long he'll be on. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't feel like Roger Howard's going to have longevity on that show. I think it's cool that he's back. He's probably going to do a little bit of a stint, but I don't know if he has staying power like that. You know, I feel like today. I mean, granted, listen, this is the first time in a long time that, for the most part, YNR is able to actually keep up with GH. I mean, the LA story at the very least. I don't know what the hell they were doing today. I don't know what they were doing with B&B. Um, I feel like Brad Bell just literally sat there and just stuck his middle finger up at people. You know who I actually want to probably go back on days. Who was Vincent's character on Domas? What was the name of Dumas or Domas? You know who I'm talking about. The guy who played David Hayward in All My Children. He was on Days of Our Lives. And he played a character named Domas, right? I'm like 2 goddamn days just not there seeing Luna like whining and crying and being like, Deimos, thank you. Yeah, bring his ass back. I don't know. I just he's that type of actor that could sit there and just command a whole scene. Yeah, Deimos Kyriakis. Yeah, bring his ass back. Here's the thing, Jonathan. I know that tomorrow's episode is gonna be a lot better than what they did today. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. For a lot of people, it was cool to sit there and see some older and familiar faces. They did the whole tribute with John. Okay, fine. It just didn't really work for me. This didn't really work for me, unfortunately. Didn't work for me at all. But yeah, 2 goddamn days of Lorna Smith there whining and crying and like I said, I'm like this whole Luna storyline is just so goddamn out of pocket. And the fact of the matter is, people are sitting there saying that Luna is the best story so far on The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm like, when did like a story about a fucking rapist become the best part of any storyline? Like, how did like this is where I feel like the standards have just dropped so goddamn low in soap operas. And like I said, seeing classic stuff of like One Life to Live, All My Children, it's like the hell are they doing? Luna is the most egregious part of B&B. Luna's storyline is just so goddamn out of pocket. Like, and it's the way they are they're playing it, you know, showing all these scenes of Luna pining for this guy, and it's like, you know, they wouldn't sit there and do that with EJ when it comes towards Sammy. You know, I don't know what the hell they were doing back then, but like they wouldn't sit there and like they wouldn't sit there and do a fantasy scene. I don't know if you saw there was a fantasy scene of Luna imagining a life with Will. I'm like, they wouldn't do that if it was a guy. They wouldn't do. Hell yeah, bring back Jacob Young. Bring back Jacob Young. Cause that listen, I know some people like they like their different versions of Lucky or whatever, but like Jacob Young as JR on All My Children, that I mean that dude was an asshole, but like he brung the energy on that show. Like he brung it. I'm also glad that people are liking the intro that I put in for General Hospital. That was a time, like I said, that was a time period when General Hospital was like really good. He brought that same energy on B&B. Yeah, I've heard other people sit there and say that when Rick Forrester came in there, he would sit there and constantly give Riz to smoke, which it's so goddamn needed. It's so damn needed to have Brooke sit there and talk about Sheila and be like, Deacon, you don't need to sit there and marry. You don't need to sit there and stay with Sheila because she's bad for you. I was like, first of all, you've been attached to a man who has treated your heart like trash. You are supporting your daughter, getting back with a man who cheated on her and fathered another daughter with another woman. Like, your perspective is so goddamn out of whack that you should not be sitting there talking about anybody. Anybody. You shouldn't be talking about anybody is bad for somebody else when when you're with Bridge Forster. That's what you shouldn't be doing. And we all know that Taylor and Deacon are going to get together. You all know that shit. You all know that. Sheila's going to sit there and go all psycho, whatever. And the fact that Sheila is still on the show and she's like a waitress after all the fucking crimes and the atrocities that this woman has done over the years. The fact that we see her just going about her day Thursday afternoon hosting a karaoke night is it's got to be some type of joke somewhere in there. And honestly, tell you, listen, I'm surprised that they're still showing Carter and and Daphne. Just says I'm mad I missed all Sheila when she was evil. Now she's boring. Yeah. Listen, B&B back in the day was pretty wild. YouTube, well, fucking CBS won't let me do like reaction clips towards that stuff, but Sheila was what Bill was fucking wild. Bill was a fucking character. Like he was such a fun fucking character. The way that he talked to Liam and pretty much kind of told him like, to like man up was just great. Um but yeah, they definitely tamed Sheila compared to how she was back in the day. And, people are sitting there saying that the actress that plays Steffi, like the whole Steffi character is gonna just be done, like the actress is leaving the show. I don't know how true that is. I just don't know what they're doing with B&B. They talked about the beach house today and all the bad memories from Luna. But I'm like, so are we just gonna sit there and forget that RJ was actually on the show? Like, it just makes me wonder what did the actor do to like cause this massive purge in everybody's mind, even the fucking parents, even Ridge and Brooke does not sit there and talk about RJ. Like, where did he go? Where did he go? Johnson says you made a Bill Spencer night with no interruptions. Yeah. I mean, I got like, emails and they're saying, oh well, you can't use or this can't be monetized and that can't be monetized. Like it wasn't copyright strikes, but it was like it was enough of them where it's like, let me just not use any clips from there. So it wasn't gonna affect my channel, but it was just emails that I just didn't need to have. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. You don't want me to sit there and use CBS stuff? Cool. I got passions. I got all my children. I got one right to live at old school General Hospital. So like, like, eh, mm. But yeah, they don't talk about RJ. Um, Katie is now back with Bill, which Bill was Bill. Let me tell you something. Bill was trash to Katie back in the day because he wanted to sit there and get with Brooke and cheated on her with Brooke. Because Brooke, listen, if you think that Brooke ain't shit now, back in the day, Brooke was wild. Brooke was wild. Ridge mom used to sit there and smack the shit out of Brooke on a daily basis. Another clip I can't show, but like Stephanie Forster, she could not stand Brooke. She said some names I'm not gonna sit and repeat, but like she could not stand. Um, and I heard Rick was actually a great character. I don't know if I still have a picture of him. Probably don't, but nope, I don't. Oh yeah, you were here yesterday, so you remember some of this stuff. Yeah, there's no point in showing that. Yeah, it wasn't any interruptions, Jonathan, because it was they were older clips. They was like in the early 2000s or whatever. So they were older clips. They were older clips. So like that wasn't a concern. Um, it just being CBS property that was the issue. Like I said, I felt like today most of the soaps weren't really there. They weren't really bringing it. I know tomorrow that they're gonna bring it, so I'm gonna be fucking happy about that. And I wish I had time to sit there and do. But days haven't been bringing it out there. The last two episodes, and the times when they actually did bring it, I couldn't. I didn't have time to sit there and do a review. So hopefully, at some point, I get time to sit there and do it. Um, I'm gonna retire this scene, but I figure I'll play this scene before we end the stream, and then I'll just take it off.
This is not your fight, JR.
Kendall is my friend.
You are not my enemy, so why don't you just walk away and let this go?
Or you could take on women, but you don't have the guts to stand up to me.
It's not worth it, JR.
You messed with Greenlee and Kendall's head. Pine Valley doesn't need another liar.
Put that down, JR. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna kill me? You'll regret it the rest of your
You
life.
trashed Greenlee's life. Do you regret that?
More than you will ever know, JR, but that is between me and Greenlee.
And Kendall.
Kendall has got nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, I'm retiring that scene after that, but I just wanted to play it one last time before I wound up deleting it. Besides, I got to sit there and delete a lot of stuff anyway because I'm not gonna sit there and say who we're gonna be watching this weekend, but it's gonna be fun. Though. It's gonna be fun. I don't know. All my children, I didn't watch All My Children back then. I started off watching Well I Could Live, which I kind of wish I would have kept watching it, but I don't know why I stopped. I don't know why I stopped. And I just kind of stuck with Port Charles and General Hospital. But All My Children was just also All My Children was a stepping stone for a lot of people. Like there was a lot of actors that came from General Hospital that went to um like Maurice Bernard was on All My Children. He played a character named Nico. Um Chelsea and Chloe from The Young and the Restless, and Victoria also came from All My Children. Julian Jerome, the actor that played Julian Jerome, came from All My Children. You should have kept up with Wanting to Live. There are a lot of great stories you missed out on. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I definitely did. I definitely did. But I feel like my bigger regret was All My Children. At least, the thing is, at least I did watch One Like to Live. You know, I love the characters of Todd and Colin and Lindsay. Nora was okay. Nora was okay. Asa was just the fucking best. Um, Asa was the best. But like, at least I actually did sample that, and I wish I would have watched All My Children. Actually, the actress who played Victoria on Y&R was on another ABC show called Loving. Yeah, Trace actually. Jane Elliott was also no, no. She was on a show called The City, I think. But Ben, the actor that played Ben, the actress that played Lonnie was also on All My Children. That came from All My Children. Cole Howard came from All My Children. Y'all know that Marty, aka um, he came from All My Children. So it was a lot of people that came from All My Children that went to um that went to other shows. Oh shit, Laura Wright was on Loving. I know Laura Wright was on Guiding Light. Tad to Chad, that's right, Allison. Tad was definitely seemed like an interesting character. I mean, hell, he was a stepfather to Jr. and Jr. was not easy to love. I would sit there and say Jr. was not easy to love. Like Jr. was not easy to like. Jr. was not easy to be in the same room with, let alone love. But I mean, like I said before, when your dad is Adam Chandler, you need somebody like Tad to balance that shit out like you do. You just do. But uh, okay, I'm gonna sit there and end the stream here because I do gotta wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is depressing as fuck. But good news is that Saturday I'll be off, so tomorrow I could sit there and definitely a lot longer, hang out a lot longer. But I want to stay a little bit extra long. So yes, I will be back tomorrow. Same time, we'll sit there and talk about some more stuff. Hopefully, tomorrow's soap opera is going to be better. Tomorrow's soap operas has to be better. They just fucking have to be. We'll sit there and talk about it then. Yes, have a good night, Spider Quake. Have a good night, Allison. Have a good night, Queen Janet. Have a good night, Queen Jess. Have a night, Blackmon. Johnson said, join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat with Bostic. Make sure you hit that like button because it really does actually help. Like, seriously, it does. Um, and if you didn't watch my review, if you didn't watch my General Hospital review, check it out. I'm trying to add some something extra to it. Just spiff it up a little bit. Paying a fortune for this, so yeah. And it was fun. Yes, have a good night, Jonathan. Um, Anybody else who I miss, you know exactly who you are, and I will sit and see you on tomorrow's stream. Laters.